Our word and our character. That's all we have. Is our word and our character. Think about it, guys. I have a very powerful show today. That it may hit people the wrong way, but I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to straight talk. And I'm just going to tell you what people need to hear, which is the truth. With so much chaos going on in the world today, I'm not surprised by it at all. But these are things you need to know if you don't know already. I have a loaded show, a very powerful show, and I hope that you receive it, think about it, ask yourself some serious questions, and then make the changes necessary, because you're going to need it. Trust me on this. Welcome to the Paul Cruz Show. I hope everyone's doing well. If you're watching this on YouTube for the first time, or you've been following me and watching, hit the subscription button below. Please share your comments. I would like to know what you think and what your thoughts are. And also, if you like the video, smash the like button and share it with others. Now, let's dig into this topic. Our word and our character. When the smoke clears and everything else is done, there's two things that we will be judged by, and we're being judged by every single day, or looked at every single day, is what we say, our word, and who we are as our character, right? You may think that you're being perceived a certain way, but you're not, based on your actions, based on your character. Now, we all have flaws, but here's the question. Where does character come from? How is it built? How do you develop it? Very simple but powerful questions that I ask myself every day. One thing I focus on is making sure that I build good, righteous character, because I answer to God, no one else. So it's my duty, my responsibility, to make sure every single day my word counts, that I speak the truth, and that I'm always building towards better, righteous character. Because at the end of the day, and the bottom line, is you will be judged by the world, or by people around you, by who you are and what you do, or what you don't do. Just think about that. Think about that. Now, you have to understand that words have an effect on people. It has an effect on how you do things. It has an effect on what you believe. It has an effect on what you say, how you say it. You see, it's so easy to say the wrong thing, to hurt people, to attack people, to gossip about people, to say things wrong about people, to retaliate with bad words when somebody attacks you verbally. It's happening every day, all day on social media. It's so easy to hide behind a computer and say nonsense and talk wrong about people and to people. So your words have an effect on people, whether you like it or not. But more importantly, it's how you use those words. Let me give you an example. Let's look at the modern day politics right now. I understand the politics probably better than anybody. I'm not trying to sound arrogant. I just do. These politicians are being deceived. But if you think about the words they say to make you feel good, or to get you emotionally wound up, like saying racism, or global warming, or anything that gets people stirred up, They know that words have an effect and that people react to it emotionally. Think about that. We're being manipulated every single day by that. If you don't know why they're doing it. Why can't you just say nice words and mean it? You see, if you say something nice, people think you're weak, right? So the way it is right now, your words have an effect on people. And where do the words come from? Words come from your thoughts. Because you're going to only speak what your mind thinks. And what the heart believes. Which means what's inside of you. The heart is deep inside who you are. The actions will follow. So your words, what you speak, has an effect on people. Good or bad, positive or negative. That's why words are very powerful. How do you feel when somebody genuinely compliments you? Say something nice to you. Is courteous in their words, saying thank you. Or how are you doing genuinely? That feels good, right? What about the opposite? When they say something wrong to you, or they insult you, or they offend you. Because there's only two ways you can offend people. Saying something wrong to them, or telling them the truth that they can't receive. But your words have an effect on everything that you do. That's why politicians know how to use words. And they manipulate words. And they change the meaning of the word. Because they know it affects you. And then you get programmed with those words that you start to use and you don't even know what it means. Then you start to use it on other people. That's called ignorant. Ignorant means not understanding, not knowing. When I was in Las Vegas and I was in a sales company, all these salespeople that don't know nothing about sales, or very little. I'm selling big ticket items, they're doing the little small ones, and they got to do a lot of them to even do accumulate to one of my sales. And they come to me, they give me their opinion. You know what I said? I said, listen, I'm willing to listen to you, but you got to pay me $1,000 to listen to you, because I'm not asking for your opinion. They shut up real quick and they stop. Now, was that a nice thing to say? No. Was it the right thing to say? At that moment, yes. But the words that I said and how I said it had an effect. Just think about that. Now, what the mind thinks, it will speak and it will do eventually. And that's the action. Because your actions are tied to your thoughts. I say that many, many times, but that's just the way it is. This is a fact. Try and dispute that. Now, here's a question. Words have an effect, right? Where do thoughts come from? Where does it begin? How does it get there? I'm leading to something. Here's a question. Why do people lie? I know why. I've been there, I've done that, and I hated every minute of it. But I thank God for having mercy on me, changing my whole mindset, changing my life, the way I think, the way I speak, the way I act. I hate every minute of who I was and what I represented. Because I know where it comes from. So why do people lie? Why do you lie if you lie? Because we all lie. We've all done it. And lying is one of the worst things we can do because the words have a bad effect on people. Just think about all the marriages that are people committing adultery. The person you're supposed to love the most, that's closest to you, you betrayed them. But today in society, it's acceptable. And the little lie is just as bad as the big lie, because the big lie started from the little lie. It's just the way it is. And I'm speaking from experience. And I thank God that I've changed, because it's His mercy that changed me. Words you say have an effect. And the words you use and the words you say develop and build your character. You can't hide from that. There's no ways around that. Why? Because there's cause and effects. How you think is the way you're going to speak and act. The cause is the thought. The effect is the speaking and the action. It's just the way it is. You don't need to be a PhD or psychologist, psychiatrist. That's simple. People just want to make it complicated because guess what? Through chaos and complication, there's money. And there's control. And there's power. That is the bottom line. So where does lying come from? You see, there's a very powerful being that deceives the whole world. I'm not getting into religion or religious with anybody. It's not my job to do that. But if you don't think you're being deceived and you don't know you are, then you just don't know. But if you look at society today, you look at how people speak, how people act, how people treat each other, and the words they say towards people or towards each other. You never saw that 40 years ago, 30 years ago. But it's crazy. It's vile. It's wicked. It's dark. And the words come out first and then the action follows. Just think about it. Is your word good? Does your word motivate people, inspire people, encourage people, get people excited? Are your words and your actions contagious in the good way? Or does it put people down because you feel good, you feel powerful, you feel in control? I'm in sales. And the words I use are powerful. And I know how to use my words. And it's scary because when you know what you know, it could be a dangerous thing. But I use it for the right reasons. Because I understand that my words have an effect and I answer to one super powerful being. And I have to make sure every day my words are clean, are right, are encouraging, are motivating, are inspiring to other people. Not deceitful, not deceiving, not flattering. Good old truth. Now, what is character? How is your character? Do you really know? Character, in simple terms. I'm not going to use this big PhD words that don't mean squat. Character is who you are. is doing the right thing, knowing the right thing against all odds when everyone else is doing the opposite. Going against the grain, being a rebel. Or going with the flow. Doing it because other people doing it. Even though it's wrong, you're still doing it because society accepts that. So your character is who you are. Now where does character come from? It comes from how you think, the actions you take, the words you say, the habits you have every single day, your mindset, your attitude. All of that is built towards building your character. How is character exposed or revealed? You see, one thing I've learned is when nobody's watching, what you do when nobody's watching is your character. Because nobody's watching. Are you going to be the same person whether somebody's watching or not? Or are you going to be different? Have you ever been in a situation where you're by yourself and you zone in and you know you're doing something wrong, you don't think nobody watches, or somebody walks in and you just get fumbled, right? Or you stumble, right? You know you got caught. Did it ever happen to you? Happened to me? The most embarrassing thing. But I changed all that. So character is built through habits. Everything you do every day starts to build habits, and then that habits builds your character. Now, character is revealed when adversity comes, when problems occur, when challenges are in front of you. When you have problems, that's when the character is revealed, and you can't hide from that. I have people coming to me and speaking to me saying, Paul, I got to leave this state. I got to move. I got to go over here. And I said, but there's one problem. They go, what? You're still taking you with you. You are the problem. Going from one place to another doesn't change anything if you have your character the same. Just taking your problems from here and bringing them over there. Does that make sense? So one of the things I've learned over the years, through many challenges, problems, and one of the things I've learned about problems, when you use the word problem, it gets people tense, But if you say situation or challenges or adversity, they're a little bit more smoother, right? Words have effect. So they mean the same thing. The problem is, and I'm using this specific word, the problem is we focus on the problem instead of the cause of the problem. We like to make excuses. The words have an effect. Right? So if you don't know the cause and you don't accept the cause, you can't change the effect. The effect is going to be the same. Because we want to blame somebody else, or we want to blame something for what happened, instead of taking responsibility. Is that you? I was one of those persons. Things happened in my life and I didn't want to deal with it. Like the politicians, they hide everything under the rug, leave it for somebody else. I made every excuse not to deal with it. I didn't want to know the truth. I knew the truth, I just didn't want to admit it. So the compound effect was worse because I didn't deal with the cause. People give up one habit to do another habit, but they never change the cause. And so you start to use words to justify your actions. And when you start to believe it, it becomes part of you, is your character. Look at these politicians. They lie and they're good at it. They make you believe nonsense. But you see the evidence is there, but they sound good. They're telling me what I want to hear. So you have to understand that your words have an effect in your personal life and other people's life. No, attitude is contagious. Yours worth catching. Are you making sure that you're using good words to inspire, encourage people, and motivate people? Or are you just knocking people down because you disagree with them? Notice how the politicians divide people. They put people in groups. They know the words to use to manipulate you, to get you to believe nonsense. Meanwhile, you can't even prove what they're saying is true. You just believe it because they said it so many times. Do you challenge it? Do you trust but verify it? And you start to use words you don't even know what it means, but you believe it. And it starts to create all these types of emotions. Just think about that. Your words have effects. And it builds your character. How is your character? Is your word good? I'm going to tell you a little story. I was bad. Bad in the sense, my word was not good at one time. Shame to admit it, but it's the truth. I made every excuse. I would say something, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't keep my word. I made excuses. I didn't want to deal with it. I couldn't face the people that I lied to, or that I said something and I couldn't deliver it. Not realizing I was hurting them, but I was hurting myself more. And it's the worst feeling in the world when people don't believe you. But it's even harder to get it back, to earn that, and to keep it. And even if it works against you, as long as it's true, even if it costs you, as long as it's true, and your mind is clean and is right, your word has to matter, because it will develop your character. No ways about it, and no ways around it. But 10 years ago, God called me and He changed me. I know that I have to speak the truth, because I know what the truth is. And I know the character I have to build and develop. And I lost a lot of sales the past 10 years because I wouldn't cross a certain line, because I knew that if I did that, the consequences are devastating and worse than they were before, because I understand. So, ask yourself that question. How is my word? Is it good on 100% or just some of the times? Do I tell a little white lie? Because a little lie is worse than a big lie. Because the big lie doesn't happen unless you got the little lie. Think about that. If you do a little crime, little misdemeanor, and you don't solve it, you keep doing it, it's going to lead to the bigger crimes. Just think about it. And your character, that's all we really have. Our word and our character. Because that's how people will judge you, or perceive you, or look at you, or respond to you, or have a relationship with you based on your word and who you are, your character. And before we leave, you know, being a salesman, I love selling. Everybody who knows me knows I love it. And as a salesman, your words are very powerful if you know how to use them. And you can manipulate people and they won't even know. And if you build as a salesman a bad character, which means you become a con artist, you lie, you start to justify that. Because a lot of times it becomes about the money. And if it becomes about the money, your words are going to be related to the money. The effect is you're going to get people emotional to give you money. And that's how you build your character. So just think about that, guys. You business owners, entrepreneur, in your regular life, you know, whether you're working for a company or not, you know, will you cheat the company? One last thing is this. I had a client about 2 months ago. You know, they talk to me. I'm like a psychiatrist to them or a psychologist. They just get confidence and they just start to talk to me because I'm on the phone. They don't see me. So they just talk. And he's telling me about what he's doing behind his wife's back, committing adultery. I'm like, listen, if you're doing that, how do I know you're not going to cheat me or you're going to cheat your customers? See, his words and his actions started in his mind. And so he did it. And he's doing it. Women are the same way. So I want to thank you guys for being part of the Paul Cruz Show. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscription button. Also, hit the notification. I got some great content coming up that I don't want you to miss. Believe me, it's going to be very, very powerful. And also share your comments. Let me know what you think. You know, don't get vulgar. Don't start to say bad words. Just tell me, you know, what you think. You know, what your thoughts are. What do you think about this video, on this podcast? And if you like it, smash the like button and also share it with others. Till we speak again, I'll say goodbye for now. This is Paul Cruz with the Paul Cruz Show. And remember this, all we have is our word and our character. Have a great day.